We've always had these fantastic partners and companies because they want to give back. So what we're able to do is really leverage their skill set to give back to the community. This is how we really reach others. We work with underrepresented high school students to teach them to look under the hood of technology. We focus on students that receive free reduced lunch. We also have emphasis on young women. And what we do is just give them a chance to see if it's something that they are interested in. It's like playing a sport or a musical instrument. How do you know if you're good at it unless you try? Most of these students don't have a chance in school to take computer programming. I think the last stat I saw was only 5% of all high schools in the US offer AP Computer Science. And so for me, it just didn't make sense because we live in a world that's driven by technology. These kids should be given the opportunity to really try it and experiment and explore.
When you start to approach a concept you're not familiar with, it can be kind of overwhelming and be kind of scary. And I think that one thing that the group learning approach is really good for is knowing that there's someone literally next to you working on the same problem. Usually what we see is that the kids will be really interacting with each other, and if one team is having trouble, they'll just immediately ask another pair instead of having to go through me. And I think that's great. In the real world, you don't solve problems in isolation. You ask your coworkers or you ask other people, hey, you've solved this problem before. Do you have any tips? How can I apply your knowledge to my situation?
I think there's a certain level. I think there's different phases to learning, and I think that there's a lot to be said and a lot that can be achieved through individual solo learning. At the same time, I think there's a higher level of understanding that comes from collaborating, exchanging ideas, asking questions, interacting with your peers who are also going through that same journey, and that you can use as a group, as a community, to help sort of take the learning to another level.
The curriculum definitely needs to shift to what we see kind of in these companies and making sure that people are working together, people are working on projects together. So there's a big movement with project-based learning, which is you have an actual problem and you have to solve it in a group. And so it's not just you kind of against yourself.
I feel like it's a lot better when you're in a group because then you can ask other people for ideas that maybe you didn't have, but you're like, oh wow, it's a really good idea, even though you didn't come up with it. And you can ask like the teacher who's helping for help and stuff, and it's a really like helpful learning environment. And also, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure people who came up with like Facebook didn't do it on their own. So
Ryan, the founder and executive director, he came and he sat with me and he articulated the problem. But beyond that, what I really loved was the model, sort of a very practical approach to a solution, and that was creating this framework to take underprivileged high school students and put them through a series of training and workshops so they get introduced to computer programming, they have access to the right mentors and advisors, and they can work on the types of projects that are relevant to us employers in the private sector.
I love creating things because I like to see how they turn out. And when I code, it's amazing because I'm like, I created this, I made this. Like Super Mario Bros., that game is so fun. And to think that somebody started out the same way that we are starting out right now, just coding simple things and then it'll come out into something amazing. That's so cool how we can control our future and the way that we can control how it's gonna come out. It's really cool.
What we're trying to do is engage kids to become builders and to become creators. And that's what programming is. You can have an amazing idea and you can go build a company that changes the world. Once you teach these kids to really develop the skill, it'll change their lives. And seeing that aha moment in these kids and the light bulb turn on is so rewarding. Because for me, every kid should have that chance. They should have a chance to see if they want to go build an app or if they want to go create a company. And for me, we need to make sure that everyone has this opportunity.